Okay, so welcome back guys. So in the previous video we looked at how to install and then configure the Active Directory certificate services for this server to become a certification authority. Now in this video we are going to look at how to assign a certificate to the server so that it can actually start issuing certificates to the systems on the network. Now to do this, we are going to use the Microsoft Management Console. To access the Microsoft Management Console snapping, we open run and then we type MMC. So we type MMC and then we hit enter. Now once the Management Console opens, we need to add a snap in. So to add a snap in, we click File and then Add or Remove Snap In. So the snap in that we want to add is certification authority. So we click add. Then we need to make sure the option that is selected is this local computer. So we click finish and then OK. So now we have a certification authority snap in here. When we expand, we see our certification authority name there. Expand the certification authority name. We have the revoked certificate, the issued certificates, pending certificates, failed request, and then certificate templates. Let's click on the certificate template. Now when we click on the certificate template, it's going to load the templates available on this server. So we have quite a number of certificates here. But then we want to set up a certificate that we will use for server authentication that will allow our server to authenticate itself to client. So right click any space underneath the certificate templates and then select manage. Now when you select manage, it's going to list a couple of certificate templates here. There are so many of them. What we want is the IPsec. So you select IPsec, right click on it and then select duplicate template. So we want to make a copy of this template. So it gives us a summary of everything here. We have the compatibilities tab. Let's go to the general tab. Now the name of the template is copy of IPsec. Now we don't want that to be the name. We want the name to be SSTP-VPN. So this is going to be the name of our certificate. The validity period, it says 2 years. We can decide to make it 5 years if we want to. Renewal period, within 6 weeks they can renew it. Then there are other options that we need to also pay attention to. One of those options is the request handling. Now under the request handling, we want to make sure that the private key can be exported. So allow private key to be exported. That is all that we check here. Then the next thing we want to do is we go to the subject name. Now we want to say that whenever a user is requesting for a certificate, that is when they should provide their subject name. Current setting for this certificate template allow a client to submit a certificate request using any subject name and does not require approval by a certificate manager. That is okay. The client should be able to specify their own name when they are requesting for a certificate. Then the last thing we want to do here is we want to go to the extensions. We need to give the server a purpose. So let's click edit and then click add. So what we want to use is we want to select another purpose. The certificate we are requesting can be used for. So server authentication, that is what we want this certificate to be used for, server authentication. So we click OK and then OK. And then we click apply and then OK. Now we have SSTP VPN here, so we can close this certificate templates console. Then we come back again, right click the same place, but this time instead of selecting manage, we will select new and then certificate template to issue. So we select that. Okay, we'll wait a little while. My system is taking quite some time to respond. Okay, so now it's back. So when we look through the options, we should see my SSTP VPN here. So it has server authentication and IPsec. So I click OK. So I have this SSTP VPN here. So this is what my server is going to be issuing out. So let's close this MMC for now. It will ask that you save it. Do not save it. Just say no. Then we open another MMC again. Now we are going to add another snap in. But this time round, we are not going to add certificate authority. Rather, we are going to add a certificate. So you select certificates and then you click add. Then this snapping will always manage certificate for computer account. That is what we want to do, computer account, and then click next. So this local computer, that is what we have to make sure is selected, and then we click finish, and then we click OK. So we have another certificate here. Now let me expand the personal and then open certificates. So there is a certificate for my certification authority there, but then we need a certificate for VPN connection. So right click on the certificates, go to all task, and then go to request new certificate. So before you begin, you can read the grammar there, and then we can click next, and then click next again. So we wait. All right, so this is my certificate here, SSTP VPN, but you notice that there is a notification here. More information is required to enroll for this certificate. So we click on this. Now, it says what name. Remember we said that we have to type the subject name. The subject has to provide the name when they are requesting for a certificate. So the subject of a certificate is the user or computer to which the certificate is issued. You can enter the information about the types of subject name and alternative name values that can be used in a certificate. So we don't want to use the full domain name, rather we want to use a common name. So the value, now here is the thing, if you are going to be accessing the server through VPN using the domain name, then you can enter the domain name there. But if it's the IP address that you're going to be using to accessing the server, then it is the IP address that you have to put there. So in our situation, we'll be accessing the server using the IP address. So the subject name is going to be 50.50.50.1. No, I made it 2. Yeah, I remember. So we click add. If yours is 1, make sure it is 1 there. You click add. That is all that we do here. Click apply and then OK. And then once we come back here, we can now select our SSTP VPN and then click enroll. So we wait for the enrollment to be completed. When it says that the enrollment is successfully done, all we have to do is go and tell our remote access server that when a user is accessing the server through SSTP VPN, it should use this particular certificate. Okay, so it succeeded. So I just click finish. And now I have this certificate here. It's for server authentication. That's the purpose of the server. So now I can close this snap in. I won't save it. And then come to the routing and remote access. So tools, and then look for routing and remote access. And then right click the server and go to properties. And then under security, where we have the SSL certificate binding, drop down and then select 50.50.2. That should be our certificate. And then we can also decide that it should use HTTP. Then all we have to do now is click apply. You made changes to the router, yes. So now it needs to restart the server. So that has been done. So now I can click OK. So that is how you request or provide a self-signed certificate for your server that can be used for SSTP. Now we will end the video here. In the next video, we will create DNS records for the server to be reached through a browser by a client, and then also we will look at how to configure the client side for the client to be able to successfully access the server through VPN connection. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Like the video, comment, and then subscribe and share the video.